Welcome to You Are Not Alone. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. I am spiritual medium Erica Gabriel. Welcome to You Are Not Alone. I am spiritual medium Erica Gabriel, your friendly medium, your friend Erica. How is everybody? How are you guys? It is a beautiful, beautiful, sweltering hot summer day. I love the heat. I am so happy in hot weather. I was not made for cold weather, which is shocking because my mom is Swedish. Like, how does that make sense? Um, from Philadelphia, where I grew up, I went to college in Miami, hot, hot, hot. And then I moved to Los Angeles, and that's extremely hot as well. And then came back to Philadelphia. And every winter, I'm like, why the am I here? Why? And then I remember how much I love it, how much I love my family, how much I love my kids' childhood here. And it's also worth it. But I am not a winter person. I so much rather be hot. I love the warm weather. So I am thrilled, happy as can be right now. So I'm wondering how you guys are doing, how you guys are feeling with everything going on the planet and the world. Um, and this, listen, you may be listening to this months later, even years later. I mean, people write me about podcasts that I did in 2020. So I don't know exactly when you're going to be listening to this, but at the time that this is kind of coming about, there's just so much happening in the world. And there always is so much happening in the world. I mean, right? What else is new? But I think there's a lot of instability and a lot of people feeling really anxious, really nervous, and really uncertain that we're all going to be okay, basically. Let's just put it bluntly. You know what I mean? Um, and with that on the side, so much of the messages that I'm getting from spirit right now for my life in particular is teach, teach, teach. Continue to teach, uh, spiritual empowerment and continue to teach the things that you have learned. Because with these tools, we can do things like feel better in chaos, right? We can do things like tune into our intuition. We can do things like clear out negative energy. And if you come to me and you have a reading with me, you're going to have this incredible precious experience. I mean, these readings are very sacred, very precious, and you're going to have an amazing experience. Um and then you get off the phone and you want to walk away with something that you can utilize and you can work on your own after we hang up the phone. So this how to series that I'm doing is technically what to work on when you get off the phone. So even if you've never had a reading with me, this is, post reading, what do I do? How do I do these things? Because we're all sensitive beings. And I would wager that everyone listening to this is a spiritual seeker. It's someone that's drawn and interested to spiritual awareness, to spiritual awakening. Some of you may be mediums. Some of you may read tarot. Some of you may be thinking about spirituality in a different way for the very first time. And it is so imperative that you gather information, right? So you listen to other spiritual seekers or listen to talks from other, um, you know, uh, I don't want to say guru, I say spiritual teachers, you know, reading books, all of these things is amazing and it's imperative to spiritual growth. And also at the end of the day, the spiritual growth will come from you. And at times when we go within to have these spiritual growths, we're like, I don't know how. Like, I don't know how to do that. Right. Which is completely and totally reasonable. It's like for me, when I go to a gym, I'm like standing in the gym. I'm like, I don't know how to use these machines. I can use them, but I'd like assistance. I'd like someone to show me. And that's why I had a trainer last summer. Anyway, so the idea is if you are spiritually seeking, if you are going through a spiritual awakening, if you are curious about spirituality, there are tools that can help you in each area. And that was my call to teach those tools and those ideas and concepts to serve, right? I am someone who has sat for 17 years with thousands of people and listened into spirit on all of these readings and been a vessel for those messages. And through these messages, through all types of people, all religion, all races, all ages, all experiences, all financial statuses, there are through lines, guys, through everyone. That's why I love everyone. I mean, I don't love everyone just as Erica sometimes. I'm like, I really don't like that person. But when I sit with someone and clear out Erica and sit with people's essences, I love every person I've ever read for. Isn't that wild? And I know that might sound like bullshit. It's really not. Like, I'll get on the Zoom with someone, Erica, as Erica, right? And maybe we're not gelling. But the minute I surrender to spirit and let spirit come through, it's the gel automatically. And I love them. And I can be shown inside their spirit. It's like soul dissection. From spirit will show me them. And everyone is so similar and everyone wants love and to give love and to be understood and to connect with spirit. So much connects us. And so many people have asked these things in readings, this how do I do those things? How do I clear out a haunting? And for the purposes of today, how do I protect my energy? How do I do that? And I want to show you how. I want to tell you how. So, in this series is meant to empower you spiritually and to help you feel more intuitive, trusting yourself because you know you have things to fall back on, right? It's like I was listening to like a parenting TED talk, and we get stuck sometimes. So, like for me, I get stuck in a parenting rut in one certain area. And I'm just there, like, I don't know how to work around that stuck in that one area. I'm out of tools. I'll look in my parenting toolbox and I'll be like, that tool does not belong here. I mean, it does not, is not here. Excuse me. That tool is not here to make this situation better or to help my child in that situation, right? And so at that point, when you are out of a tool, you go to Home Depot. You know what I mean? You're like, I need that special hammer or that special whatever, glue, right? So this are things to put in your toolbox when you're spiritually awakening, when you're spiritually seeking, when you're spiritually growing, so that you can have the confidence that you can do this, you can move through things that help open you up to working with God and spirit, trusting yourself. So in this episode, we are talking about protecting your energy. Protecting your energy. So as I have sat with all these people, there has been countless situations where I am reading for someone who's clearly a sensitive. I can place a bet. I'm not a betting woman. I did go to Vegas with my ex-boyfriend and his family. This was like their family vacation. And we were there for a week. Do not recommend going to Vegas for a week, by the way. Like, I was mentally like not well after. I was like drinking Baileys in my coffee by day 2, like just like too much. Anyway, and I gambled. I made some money. I went to the Vegas Mall and got little white gold diamond earrings and never gambled again. And I still have them. My daughter wears them. They're very cute. Anyway, back to spirituality. Let's leave Vegas and let's come back. Let's come back. Let's regroup here. So, I would imagine that 99.99% of you, if not 100% of you, are sensitives. You are sensitive to energy. You are sensitive to your surrounding. You are sensitive to maybe the news, scary movies. You are sensitive to other people's energy. I may have already said that. You are sensitive to your family's energy. You could even be sensitive to being around a lot of people. You could be sensitive, in understanding and hearing other people's emotions and energy, even if they're not telling you what they are. You are sensitive to connecting with spirit. You are a sensitive. You are most likely an intuitive as well. And with that, not everyone's path, but many people's paths are that of a healer. Okay. So the word healer is it's like on the line for me because we all know no one can heal you. They can facilitate healing within you, but they can't heal you. If you ever come across someone that says, I can heal you, come to me. You need to buy $1,000 candle and I will heal you. Or my way of thinking is the only way and it can heal you. I would be wary because no one can heal you. They can facilitate healing, they can assist you with your healing, they can guide you towards tools for healing, but they can't heal you. You have to heal yourself. And that's the big trick, right? That's the big joke of life. It's you, it is you. But what's very nice about that is God is in you. So you have the capability to do all the healing you've ever wanted to do. So the idea with sensitives as the word quote healer, right? So for lack of a better word, healer is I see a lot of people that I read for as healers. So they have chosen to be tarot card readers. They are mediums. They are doing Reiki. You know what I mean? They are doctors. They are nurses. They are nutritionists. They are very obviously they're therapists. They're um, social workers, they're teachers, big healers, big helpers, big healers, white lighters, right? They are very obviously healers and helpers. And then I see people that on the outside aren't obviously healers, right? I'm going to add people working with animals, right? But then I see people that aren't obviously healers, right? So like they're working, let me make something up in like human resources. You know what I mean? And like that one you wouldn't be like, "Oh, that person's a healer," but they are because the way that they talk to people, the way that they bring people together, the way, that they're doing their work is actually they're placed there on purpose as helper healers. So there are healers and helpers in many different ways. I have seen, stay at home parents that are there to truly usher in these souls of their kids and in this incarnation assist in their healing just by being present and by being a safe person for them. I mean, there's all kinds of ways. Okay. And with that, I see many healers and many sensitives as totally have totally disregarded themselves so that they could help other people. Totally disregarded themselves. They don't see themselves as healers. They don't see themselves as sensitives. And they are freaking drained of their life force. They're drained. I've seen therapists. I have so many therapists that work with me, guys, meaning come to me for readings. First of all, I have therapists that refer clients to me. They're like, I don't know, you need to go talk to Erica. And I also have a lot of therapists that get readings from me, right? They're looking for the other side, that spiritual connection. Why am I so tired? Why don't I want to be a therapist anymore? I'm so tired. As you guys know, I have absolutely no therapeutic training whatsoever. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm delivering messages from spirit. I can only get what spirit gives me. I don't embellish at all. Anyway, so the idea is that a lot of these people are drained. Let me tell you some other types, they believe that they're here to heal their family. So their family is mean to them. They are run ragged by their family. This is core family, guys, not chosen, right? They're run ragged by them. They're trying to heal their mom from her trauma. They're trying to be there for their siblings. They are literally being destroyed by their core family because they are helper healers. They haven't acknowledged that. They haven't acknowledged that they're sensitives and they're being completely drained. So I see that a lot with core family, right? I see that a lot with work. People that are just, I can't deal with this work anymore. I'm so drained. I'm so exhausted. I cannot do this anymore because they have not cared for their energy. Your energetic body is as important as brushing your teeth. It's like we get up in the morning, we brush our teeth. Michael Beckwith says this as well. We brush our teeth, we care about how we look, maybe we exercise. And then my part coming in is, but what have we done for our energetic body? What have we done for our energy? How have we acknowledged ourselves as sensitive beings? How have we acknowledged ourselves as healers? And then we don't. And that part of ourselves is getting crushed. So I've seen that with core family. I've seen that with work. Okay. So a lot of times it's like, oh my God, my boss is so mean to me. Why are they so mean to me? What are they doing? Because we're just a sensitive and we're so confused why someone is treating us this way. Right. And instead of focusing on how can I prepare myself and separate myself from that person's energy, we're just, what did I do wrong? I need to make this better. I'm a healer. I'm a helper. I'm a sensitive. Right. And then I also see people that are sensitive in life so that they're going shopping, at Target and they're just like, "Oh my god, I'm overwhelmed. I feel everyone's suffering and pain." Or I see sensitives that just can't even deal with being alive I mean, they are going to be alive. They're going to continue to live, right? I'm not talking about suicide. I'm talking about like I'm just in so much pain all the time because of the news and suffering and the suffering I feel of the world. And then I also do see it with kids and family, guys. So, meaning you're a mom or you're a dad or a caretaker, and it's like you want to do everything so much for the people you're taking care of and for these kids. And it's just like you just run yourself ragged and you don't say no because you just want to help and heal and be there so much. A lot of people's healing comes out later in life. So, I've seen a lot of people that later in life have to care for their parents and their life completely stops and they're just all they're doing is taking care of their parents. And it's absolutely beautiful because they love them and they want to be there for them. They want to make sure they're okay. But their whole life has stopped. And, a lot of times that's understandable because they need care. And also, there's a way to protect energy and to take moments for themselves to restore their healing well. So, there's a lot of ways to see that. I do have to bring this up because this came up when I was kind of brainstorming for this how to. Um, I have seen a lot of women in particular choose, get ready because might be you, choose wounded birds as partners. Someone that needs a lot of fixing and help, someone that may even be abusive, someone that may just want them to do everything, want them to help them heal them, everything, someone that's very wounded. And they're so wounded that they're wounding them now. And sometimes women do that because they're like, I'm a healer. They may not even know that, but I'm a healer. They feel that in their soul. I have enough light for both of us. I can do this. I can help you. I can heal you. Come to me, baby. Like I got you. And it can become really just unbelievably abusive and toxic. They're frustrated. They're taking abuse because they deep down just want to help that person. And unfortunately, they haven't realized that they're looking for a partner that might also be a healer and they can be fabulous and or fabulously healing together or power couple together, right? They think they had to heal someone. What happens is sometimes they get out of those relationships and then they just find another one because they never acknowledge that they're a helper, that they're here to serve, that they're sensitive, that they have a beautiful magical light in them that deserves to be honored. Never acknowledged it. Do any of these sound like you? I know several of them sound like me. So no judgment. It just means that it is time for you. It is time to acknowledge your magic, your sensitivities, your ability to help others. It's time to acknowledge that. So, how to? Number one, acknowledge, acknowledge, acknowledge. And this may be the toughest phase for you guys to acknowledge that there is something that is moving with you and through you, that there is a calling that spirit is trying to have its way with you and even utilize you as a white lighter, as a helper, as a healer for others. And there are all kinds of ways you can do that. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job and go, to some place to volunteer your whole life, right? Maybe it does. I don't know. But it doesn't mean you have to blow up your life. Okay. It's an acknowledgement that you're sensitive and that you're a loving soul and that you're someone that is here to serve in your own special way. There's many ways to serve. Acknowledge that you're sensitive. So many people call me and they go, I know this is really woo woo. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Please, God, don't say the words woo woo to me. I absolutely abhor them. It's like saying that spirituality and other is just like this woohoo, woo woo, like the weird shit that's not really real, but I don't get it at all. I think it's such a weird word. Or I guess that's two words. I absolutely abhor woo woo. There was a podcast that wanted me on and I'm like researching them. It was so great. I'm like, this looks great. This looks great. And then like I'm reading the description. It's like all things woo woo. And I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that. It's like saying like when people are talking about how you become what you eat, like literally, like what you eat, your nutrition is virtually what your physical body becomes. And it's like, oh, all this, wackadoodle holistic stuff. And you're just like, what are you talking about? Like it doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, that was a tangent. I realize that. Thank you for bearing with me. um but it is acknowledging that spirit and that God and that your magic and that your ability to help others in whatever own special way that you present that is beautiful, is sacred. Not understanding that is what is separating you from real truth and God. And calling it woo woo is like such a disrespectful thing. But um, if you cannot acknowledge that, you're in separation from it. And that's why it's getting abused. Okay. So acknowledge I'm a sensitive being. I'm a spiritual soul. I'm connected to God. I have beautiful service in me. And that service should be expressed in a way that does not destroy me or my energy. I acknowledge this. I choose to have people in my orbit that acknowledge that I'm a sensitive soul, or at least treat me as such and do not try and suck me dry of my light. Acknowledge, acknowledge, acknowledge. And that is going to be the biggest step. Because then once you acknowledge that, you start to see it. You start to see it. You start to see it everywhere. So acknowledge that. And then I'm just going to give you some simple tools that you can use. So I use this when I go into very challenging family situations because I know how triggered and drained I get. So I use this. I use this every time before I get on a reading and in a loving way, because I need to be grounded and in my power to be able to hold the energy of spirit and also hold the energy of the person I'm reading for. Spirit is great. People can can be really tough sometimes. That's okay. So I use this before I go into stores sometimes. I use this before I go into a deep, a challenging conversation. So you're going to protect your energy after you acknowledge that it needs to be protecting, that it deserves to be protecting. So what I do, and again, you guys, there's many ways. Everything I do in this series, you find your way. These are thoughts, these are jumping off points, these are tools. use them or not, find your own tools or not. You use these tools as they see fit. You can create your own mantras. You can use your own words and your own ideas with this. It's not just, this is not the only way to do it, but this is a way to do it and a way that I found extremely effective. So let's start. Let's use this tool. And I have, if you go to my courses, I have many other tools, but in terms of protecting energy. So let's use the example of getting on a Zoom with your boss and you get very drained and etc. We already went over that. So let's use a Zoom. So you're about to get on a Zoom. So you're going to sit down, and my call is to get a candle. So sit down, get a candle, preferably a white candle. Sit down and take some deep breaths, right? Light the candle, close your eyes, and take some deep breaths. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your body supported in your chair or on the floor if you're sitting crisscross applesauce on the chair. And you're going to take some deep breaths in through your nose, and you're going to fill up your lungs. And your whole stomach should be going out, not in, right? So deep breathing. And then you're going to exhale out of your mouth. Inhale in. Exhale out. And do this 5 times. Ground yourself. Get in your body, guys. And then you're going to call to your team with love, with gratitude. I call to my angels. I call to my guides, my ancestors. I call to the white light energy in the world. And I ask for assistance as I protect my energy. And I want you to imagine a beautiful glow from the white light candle or from wherever you see fit. And it forms a beautiful bubble. Beautiful bubble. And the idea is to imagine this bubble surrounding you now. So you're in the bubble. And ask with gratitude that this bubble surrounds you with positive energy, with white light energy, and with a protective shield. And this shield will protect you from any unwanted energy. Ask that this beautiful bubble of white light and protection creates a bubble that will deflect any psychic debris, any energy that doesn't belong to you, any emotions that don't belong to you will simply bounce off the bubble. That you are sealed in your sensitivity, you are sealed in your compassion, your knowledge, all of that. It's still there. And you can still be you, but that the other person's toxic energy, negative energy, emotions that don't belong to you, that aren't about you, just bounce off your bubble. You do not absorb them. And, one other thing you can use, guys, if you have, a connection to your angels, ask your angels to surround you with their wings, to shield you and guard you from any psychic debris, any toxic energy. Protect your energy. Don't do this with fear. Do this with love. Do this with self-respect for yourself. Call to your guides, call to your angels, ask for their help. Ask for their help. They will come. And then sit up tall, take some deep breaths, open your eyes, blow out the candle, and know that you're surrounded by white light. I mean, I used to literally sit before I would go into these very intense family situations. I would sit in the driveway in my car, call to my angels, call to my guides, white light myself, utilizing the bubble. Imagine any triggering toxic energy just bouncing off my space. And it's so effective. Now, after you do this, you can sit back down and close your eyes and take some deep breaths and call to your guides once again and say, thank you for the protection. And I ask that anything that I may have absorbed, possibly, I ask that you assist me in clearing it and cleansing it off of my energetic space. And then you thank your guides, you thank your angels, and you move on with your day. And I do this throughout the day. You can do this with any visuals you like. Any words you like. It is not the bubble. It is your intention. Again, it is not the bubble that must be done. It is your intention that must be done. Protect your energy. Acknowledge yourself as a sensitive being and protect your energy. This is one way. This is one example. Take it. Take it with you. Try it. Use it. Use it. Please remember your guides, your angels, your ancestors. They're always there. They will help you, but you need to set a clear intention and you need to acknowledge yourself. It is my greatest hope, wish, and prayer that this podcast served you. If you like this podcast, please comment. Please comment on it. Please like it. Please star it. Please share it so I can keep going. If you take nothing else away from this podcast, please take away that you are not alone. God loves you. The universe supports you in all that you do. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. God loves you, and so do I. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more on my how-to series. God bless, guys. More to come.